So it will basically happen every now and then that someone will schedule a trial class and they'll just not show up. For you, it's probably not just happening every now and then. Like, let's take the last 10 people who booked a class with you. Like, how many out of those 10 have actually shown up at your school and have actually done the trial class, so to speak, right? Like, just get that number into your head, pull it up right now, right? If it is, I don't know, below like 6 or something like that, then you should maybe think about a good follow-up process for kind of rescheduling those people, because if you really think about it, like, it's always gonna happen that people are not gonna show up, right? Like, it's just impossible to probably get like 100% show up, right? Obviously that would be ideal and that's what we're all striving for, but it's hard to get there, right? And you may get there like temporarily for like a month or two, but like, it's possible maybe to get like to get like 100% show up rate for like 20 people when they book a trial class. But as you scale the system, it's really unlikely that when you have like 100 people coming in for a trial class, that like booking a trial class, all of those 100 people will actually show up, right? And therefore it's super important that you have kind of a great process in place for then rescheduling those people, right? Because if you think about it, like, it's easier to kind of reschedule them and just get them into like another class again, because they've already booked something, right? Like, sure, they didn't show up, but maybe they also just canceled, or they let you know afterwards why they didn't show up, whatever, and then you could just reschedule them for like a different day. And again, stuff is always going to come up, so there's always going to be a reason for why someone is not showing up. I will say one thing though. I'll suggest, and this is kind of contradictory to this video, but always, like, rather spend your time on new leads than on like leads who didn't show up or whatever, because like, they're new, they haven't even seen your school yet or whatsoever, so it's always like better to focus on them, because if someone didn't show up once, sure, they may reschedule after, and I'm gonna show you in just a second how this works, but I'll always say, like, rather focus on new leads than like always rescheduling people. And this may sound a little contradictory to what the masses say, but I think, or at least from what I've seen from like tens of thousands of leads at this point already, it's always better to focus on new leads than on like rescheduling people. But you still want to have like a fantastic process in place to reschedule people if someone doesn't show up for their trial class. And this is what I'm going to show you in this video. I'm going to show you what you need to do when someone doesn't show up or when someone cancels or whatsoever. And I'm also going to show you like the actual basically messages we sent them after they didn't show up. It's the system we use for schools all around the world. It fucking works like with a really, really good rescheduling rate, or like at least knowing why people don't show up. Because sometimes it's like, maybe they've gotten sick and they can't ever come back to the school, or can't come for like the next 2 months, right? It doesn't happen often, and maybe sometimes it's also just an excuse by people, although I wouldn't really say that, but different story. And anyways, I'm going to show you all of that in this video. The only thing you may need for this is the CRM called High Level, but even if you're not familiar with it, like, just search up on the internet. I'd suggest you get it for your martial arts school. It's super important. There are plenty of videos on how this works. It's called Go High Level. You'll find it if you Google it. Anyways, let's get into this video. So there was someone scheduled in for a trial class, and let's assume they canceled. No, let's first of all assume they just don't show up for no reason, right? Like, they haven't sent you any messages beforehand or whatsoever. They just didn't show up, right? What you want to do in that scenario, you want to send them on the same day, ideally, like a text message and an email again, with a link on which they can reschedule. So something like, hey, we missed you during our class today. Do you want to come back again? Blah blah. I'll show you in just a second on what these messages actually look like. And but let's continue here first of all. So then another day later, you want to give them a call. If they don't pick up, obviously leave them voicemail. Like, just try to reschedule them on the phone. 2 days later, you want to send them another text and email, and then 3 days later again, and then 4 days later, you want to give them another call. If, let's say, they showed up, they didn't show up, and they didn't let you know at all why they didn't show up, and they don't answer any of these messages or any of these calls, what you want to do is you just want to add them to like the next database reactivation. So like every 3 months you want to reactivate your leads with like a database reactivation. Different story. We're not going to talk about that in this video, but it's just a quick tip I have for you here. And yeah, this is basically what you want to do when someone doesn't show up after they've booked a class and like they didn't let you know at all why they didn't show up. Now let me get into the specifics of what this looks like. So we have built like an automation in Go High Level for this. We're not gonna recreate the automation, but I'm gonna at least show it to you, because if we recreate it, like, we're probably gonna sit here for the next couple of hours. So this may look like a little bit confusing to you, but actually it's super simple and straightforward. So let's say on here for this class it says they cancelled or they are marked as a no-show. Either way, this automation will start and go high level. So basically they didn't show up or they cancelled, whatever. First of all, the first message looks kind of similar to this. So like, hey John, we missed you and your child during our class recently. If you'd like to reschedule, please click this link. And then you just send them the scheduling link and then you say it's an automated message. You can leave this out if you want to. You don't have to put this in there, but we just find it makes like, you sometimes want to put this in there with like it's an automated message and sometimes you don't. Just because like it makes it more authentic, so to speak. And also it's like, if let's say, so this message, why we have it in here, it's because this message is going to send out 5 minutes after they've been marked as a no-show. Let's say like someone marks them as a no-show at like 2 a.m. at night. Like we don't just want to send them a message at 2 a.m. at night from like a real person. Like that would kind of be weird if you're getting messages from a gym at 2 at night. But here, for example, it's set up in a way where it will only text them during like certain day hours. And then, for example, it doesn't include that, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it doesn't include any of that. That's an automated message. So it kind of looks like a real message there. Anyways, this is what the first email then looks like. It's just gonna send out exactly after the text message. Hey John, I noticed your child was unable to attend our class recently. If you'd like to reschedule that class, please click the following link. Thank you, Emil. PS, this is not a message, whatever. Second text message. Again, this then looks organic. This is at least how we have it set up. You don't need to be like that specific with it. If you're sending those messages out manually, then like just make sure you maybe copy and paste them all the time. I know it sounds silly, but like you maybe want to edit their names, but like you don't want to write like the same new message for every single person who didn't show up. But again, I'd suggest you just use Go High Level for this because it's probably the most effective thing you can use. Anyways, this is what the second email then looks like. Reschedule your class at whatever your school's name is. Hi John, I hope this message finds you well. If you'd like to reschedule your kids' class with us, please click on this link. Please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions or need assistance. Thank you, Emil. Automated message or email. You can leave this out here by the email, by the way. There's no reason why we've put that in there, to be honest with you. And then you just send like a third message. You're still there, John, whatever. Email again, reschedule. Hi, John. Just making sure you got the emails I sent you beforehand. If you'd like to reschedule your child's class, click this link. If you don't have any questions, just reply to this email. Thanks, Emil. And that's basically it. Now, that's basically what the messages looks like, and you can basically just copy and paste them if you want to. They're super effective. They do seem to work really well. And then we also have like a system, like a automation for calling people. I'll just show you this as well real quick. So if the opportunity has changed here, basically, yeah, this looks even more complicated, but it fucking works wonders. We'll call them. We have like different fields if they picked up or if they didn't pick up. I'll maybe do like a different video on it one day, but it's probably gonna like you would just spend hours if I would explain the entire system here to you now in detail. But you can just like maybe pause the video here if you wanna copy and paste this yourself, or if you just wanna build this out yourself. In the beginning, I think it's enough if you just like add them to a workflow. Just make it like wait 18 hours or whatever, call 1, wait 18 hours again, call 2, and that's about it. At least in the beginning. Obviously you can get more advanced with this the better you get, but whatever. Let me think. Yeah, so there's also a scenario in which someone will let you, like, they'll let you know why they can't make it to their class. So maybe they tell you, oh, I can't make it to today's class because I have a cold or whatever, my child has a cold. What you want to do in that scenario, if they tell you this, like just ask them like, hey, all right, how about we do same date and time next week? And most people will just reply yes to that. If they don't, you just want to send them the messages I've just shown you, or you just want to follow up with them like manually, like, hey, you can also, you basically just want to give them a calendar link, then again ask them to reschedule, right? But usually if they give you like a reason, like even after the class, let's say they didn't show up and then they tell you, oh, I wasn't there because of X, Y, and Z, you can just tell them, cool, how about we reschedule you for next week, same date and time, or in 2 weeks, same date and time, like what week would work better for you? Because then you give them two options that are kind of keen on selecting one, right? And sometimes they'll just tell you when they want to reschedule for whatever. Yeah, that's everything for this video. I hope this helps you with dealing with no-shows and stuff like that. If you want us helping you with that shit and even more, basically taking care of your entire student acquisition process, then click the first link in the description, and otherwise I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.